Good morning and welcome back to the hottest marriage show in America. If y'all haven't noticed, we are number one in the Lewis household.
We are.
And maybe your household one day. Good morning, my love. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I
never ask you, how are you doing?
Oh, it's crazy that you say that. I remember on Diverse Clarity that Naeem recognized that I was never asking how he was doing. Because when you're new to it, you just kind of just don't want to mess up. You don't realize there's other people. So
you just wait till somebody tell me when I can talk, boss.
Yeah. I'm doing fantastic, to be honest. Every day has been a constant uphill battle in trying to perfect life, and I really enjoy it. It's like this puzzle thing, so it's fantastic. I feel like I learn something every day. Yeah. So, what are you doing this weekend?
This weekend, I'm transforming. Well, I'm shedding my wife and my mother titles, and I'm just about to be Kanika. This weekend, I'll meet up with my friend. There's a art showing, Black artists in Detroit, this Saturday. So I'm kidnapping one of my friends to go do that, and then I'm getting a hotel room for myself. And then in the morning, I'm picking up my best friend from the airport, and we're going to have a great time in Detroit. And we're going to, my thought is, what I believe we're doing is we're staying at a Black-owned bed and breakfast in Detroit Sunday night, and then I'll be back on Monday.
Oh, that sounds pretty dope. Sounds exciting.
Yeah, I'll put on my mother-wife titles on Monday, 12 noon. No sooner.
Oh, well, good luck to that.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds pretty dope, though. I was, this is the first weekend where the kids are going to be out of school, and I think that'll allow me to try to be creative and do what I do while you're gone. And I do want to say that this is not the first time that she's disappeared with me with kids before. I just feel like this time is the first time that I can actually be purposeful in being, with things planned for them to do, instead of just, I know that they can cook and do all of that by themselves and they wouldn't even know that I was in the house. But I plan on, being a little more active. And this is without a car. So I'm really considering different things I could do with them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. But I wanted to ask you, I know you are like a professional social media watcher. and when I do look at it, I see people still talking about hustling. And I want to know, what is hustling to you? Because it's so prevalent in our community that no matter what you do no matter what, it's some type of hustle. And if you're not doing it, then it's like you're not trying to get it. Do you agree?
I mean, if you're not doing it, you're not trying to get it.
Like if you're not hustling.
I guess that's generally the idea. Like, yeah, the people who really want something, they're going to hustle for it. They got to push and work hard. And
so what do you look at as hustling?
I don't know. I think it depends on what you're doing. Like, does it like, I remember when you told me you weren't about the hustling life.
Yeah, I am not.
So,
but I learned what I was a hustler for.
Yeah, okay. So I guess that's the thing. So when President Obama was elected, John and his friends, y'all know those little bands that people wear or whatever. So they had a whole bunch of these bands.
Like 10,000 of them made.
Yeah. Like
10 to 12,000 made.
Do we have any more of those? We had a bag for forever. But they decided they were going to go to the inauguration. They were going to sell these bands, right? Mm-hmm. and it was cold. And John called me 2 hours into the cut and said, "Hey, I'm not a hustler. I figured this out. It's cold."
Hey, look, if anybody went to the inauguration, it was like one of the coldest weekends for like people to be outside, and there was so many people out there. So I'm gonna tell you, like, we had this plan. Like, I think we actually just made enough to pay for the trip, but we had a plan to charge so much, right? It got to the point where we were just charging them for $1.
Hey, they said $5. That $5 shrunk
Yes.
to $1. He was like, "I'm not about that hustling
Yeah,
life."
and then it was like, it was really cold, and we were actually doing it illegally because I didn't know that you had to have a license to do that. Like, the police was telling us to move, like you can't do that, and I was like, dang, and it was so crazy. We had found a spot where people was wanting it, and it was like, dang, he just told us we can't do this, and it's like, what do you do?
And then what did you do? Y'all went to go eat?
No, we continued to break the law.
Oh, okay.
But we did it like while moving down the street. But that was one of the many reasons why I know I'm not a hustler.
Well, see, this is the thing. So there's that kind of hustling.
For money. I'm not a hustler for money.
No. But like, say you want to be an author. So if you get up, I remember them saying, who was it? It was Maya Angelou, I feel like it was, or maybe it was Toni Morrison, I can't remember. But they said that, they still had to work and do what they had to do with their life. So they would get up at 4 a.m. to write. So when their son, I think they had a son, so I can't remember which one it was, but when their son woke up, the rest of the day had to go the way it was supposed to go. But if they wanted to write this book, then they had to be willing to get up every morning, 3 or 4 in the morning, and dedicate that time to write. And yeah, they lost sleep. They were definitely tired, but dedicated the freshest part of their mind and their creativity to that writing and doing it in the morning and making sure it got done. So I feel like that's a hustle too. So it ain't just standing out in the cold or grinding or hustle can look different for a lot of different people.
And that's the reason why I wanted to talk about that, because I wanted to hear you say it so other people can see that, because typically hustling is related to getting it, and that's money. It's not about happiness. It's not about like creating more time. It's like we're typically using our time to make this money because we think money is going to free up more time to do what we want.
That's the intention. I don't think people are just driven by money. They're driven by freedom.
The idea of it. But they to me,
money is the key to the freedom that they're looking for.
And that's the distraction. The thing, I was just talking to a friend of mine yesterday. It was like, those who don't think work for other people, and they're probably getting underpaid. Mm-hmm. Like,
I definitely agree.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm trying to think, like, where did I get that from? Because it's not mine, but it was like a whole, it was a whole thing. I think it's I don't know, I'll come up with the name, but I love this book. It's like the Master Key System or something like that. Mm. But, and I just realized when you mention that person getting up in the morning to ensure that they complete a certain part of what they want in order to get the bigger picture, those are the thinkers. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like the people who wake up right before work, they're going to do that for the rest of their life because they already comfortable with that idea. Until they change the mindset and use the time that they don't want to use, they're going to stay in that mindset. It's going to stay the same way. It will not change. A person that stays in their same job will not ever get rich.
Okay.
And if we don't change our mindsets about the hustle, it doesn't have to be about money. But if you chase something that you love and you're good enough, they'll pay you.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely, you were losing me, but I definitely agree with that. you can, and I think that that's the goal. Everybody, when we're growing up, we were told that, you know, when you have a little talent, your little kid does artwork. Oh, you're going to be an artist. Or, you know, if the little girl likes to, or the little boy likes to drive cars, you're going to be a race car driver. But, you know, whatever you think that when you grow up, you're going to get to do the things you want to do. And you don't really think about success and money. But you know what's funny? When you get older, I remember the things about being a little artist or being a race car driver changed to like 4 different things that you will want to do to make money. Oh, you must want to be a doctor. Oh, you talk a lot. You're going to be a lawyer. Oh, you're going to be a engineer. There are 4. I can't remember what it is, but
teacher.
Yeah, but teacher wasn't gonna give no money.
Doctor,
But I think maybe it was
lawyer.
less about money, but more about a respectable profession. You're gonna be a teacher, engineer, lawyer, or a doctor. It stopped being about what you loved and more about, okay, well, what's gonna pay successful and pay you.
That's so, and you know what's so crazy? All of those jobs, like they don't get paid like that. Only the very best get paid like that in their field.
Oh, but you figure that out when you get them student loans and you come out.
I know, but it's like, but why do we keep pushing? What the hell? Why do we keep sending people with this idea that, like all we did was create more debt?
I feel like we just live a life of a conveyor belt. We put everybody on the same conveyor belt, give them the same information, expect to spit out the same workers.
But I think that's what they want to do, right?
It is.
We want the smartest people to go to the companies so that we can make the companies larger.
Yeah, but I think that now it's like people have been asleep, and now there's so many people waking up and they're just pursuing life.
But you know, I think waking up, and this is not to disrespect anybody because there's different levels of awareness that we're talking about. But when waking up, I totally get it. And when I hear that, I think of poor people can't wake up because they're worried about things that they shouldn't have to worry about, like the necessities of life. Mm-hmm. So as you move through life and you get to a different level of comfort, you're able to say, wow, like to me, that's what I'm saying. Like, people that don't care as much about money, they have a different level of appreciation. Like they didn't have to worry about survival. And if they did, they figured out how to make it work for them.
Well, I don't think it's just about poor people. I think everybody has the capability of kind of doing the same old every day and running that same race. But
when I say poor, like, I wasn't referring to like financially.
Okay. So yeah, I needed that to be specified.
Yeah, my bad.
So what I'm thinking is, I'm saying that a lot of people are waking up to the point where they're like, I hate this shit.
I know.
Like, do I really have to do this? And I think that one of the good things about social media, everybody tells you, like, that's not real life. You see those few people, they're doing it. That's not the majority. But it's spreading the idea to people like, hey, I might be one of the ones that could do it. And I've seen, if I've seen 6 other people on here that are telling me that they did it and they're all saying the same thing, then maybe I can. So I kind of feel like it's opening the door for a lot of people who are sitting there saying, this is trash. Like, I'm tired. On a regular, they'd be like, back to the grind again. But now it's like, I think that there got to be another way. Let
me ask you a question. Okay, so I know there's going to be people to disagree with the way that I addressed that. So what can we do to change the mindset as far as, you know, like when we were talking about how we go to work and we won't miss no days and we do all, like they created this idea that that's more important than our own family or our own health. So how do we change even those who are doing well financially and doing all of these things, but won't miss work and all of that? How do we let them know that, or show them that it's like they're more important than what we've been taught?
I don't know. I kind of feel like the whole shift of employment since the pandemic has kind of let people know, like, essential workers. We loved using that word, but now they're starting to realize, like, look, your day can end and begin with whether or not I show up. So with these companies before, I feel like they felt they had everybody in a chokehold.
They did.
And now it's like,
because we found out that we don't really have to work the way that they want to enjoy life.
Yeah. I laugh now at nursing because nurses would make like $60,000 to $75,000 an hour, not an hour, a year.
Let me change my profession.
Yeah. Based on the areas, you know, they would make pretty good money. I'll just say that, because based on the area, they make pretty good money. This pandemic hit and they had a shortage of nurses. Then, okay, so now you have a nurse in Michigan who is a travel nurse now, and she's going to fill that shortage in California because there are not enough nurses in California. So then she's getting $6,000 to $10,000 a week, right? But the nurses that are in California are now traveling to Maine or New York, because New York is in a shortage, and they're getting that 6 to 10 a week. Then you got the New York nurses who are going to another look. But if I were nursing in my own state and I was actually the nurse at that hospital, they would not pay me $6,000 a week.
They would not.
So
it's crazy.
So now hospitals are forced to pay these nurses for real combat pay, like that real pay, because the nurses have figured that stuff out. And so now they got the hospitals in a chokehold when it comes to paying them. Now, who I really wish could get somebody in a chokehold are these teachers.
I know. We was talking about that.
Because I'm like, if these hospitals could find a way to pull this money out of their butt, which I know they hoard money, but they can pay these nurses, then I'm feeling like,
you know,
and
they're
then all
most private.
No, but look, and then all of these companies, look, we were arguing about $15 an hour for fast food restaurants, but now the mugs be like hiring starting at $14 an hour.
Get paid tonight.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow.
Get paid tomorrow. Like, so you can make that stuff work. I'm gonna tell you like this. They can figure it out. And some of these companies, like, the people are like, I'm leaving. There are people that it's like, it's time to return back to the building. They're like, I'm putting in my 2-week notice. And they'll go somewhere that's remote. And it's so many people that are doing remote now. Like, people have the industries in the chokehold.
So check this out. Let's
not all though.
Let me ask you a question.
Though.
I know this is probably I don't know if this will ever get aired, but if it does, I want to say this. What if the United States, the families in the United States, realize that their kids are in an assembly line in school, and they said, you know, our kids aren't going to go to school because the teachers are underpaid, and all we're doing is sending them to private companies anyway after they get out of school, and they're making you money, and you guys aren't taking care of the school. What if the United States made it where private companies had to generate the money to pay for the teachers, and it became what you want?
That would be called taxes, and that would be the
I'm saying they'll get the
$1.something billion that they don't require these corporations to pay.
No, but I'm saying, like, if they don't get students to go to school, they can't get any more workers.
I hear you. I agree with that. I think that's
like, why wouldn't you want to do? Why wouldn't you want these companies to take care of us?
I agree. They gonna get these workers, so you gonna invest in them.
Like, and it will change things. Like, people would go to school to become a teacher. It would get more competitive because people would actually want to get better in their craft. So then you'll have students that will go to school because their teachers actually want to be there. Like, it could be a snowball effect if you guys really wanted to do it. But this is one of those things where I feel like me saying that causes too much friction. And it was like, oh, that's a hope. Like, it is a hope. But if you guys think about it, your kids are just a part of the assembly line because they're trying to figure out who are the smartest ones who are going to, you give them a scholarship, they'll commit to them. They'll go to school for free, right? Bringing all this money for whatever reasons. And then they go to this company and generate just so much more money. And guess what the student does? They feel so good. They give money back to their university. Like, just look.
Or their community. I prefer the community, but
I'm just saying, like, as far as
universities get money hand over
for
fist.
sure. That's why I would love the idea of majority of us going to HBCUs. We hustle that way because there's a level of pride that we have, and I've seen it, and I just feel like if we gave it to the HBCUs, we could be like the generation that said, look, we know we got it now. We used your resources. Now we can. Yeah. So what you think?
I like all of that. Yeah. I'm not even gonna say in a perfect world because it doesn't have to be perfect for them to do that. That setup makes so much sense.
It does, and I don't understand because this is what trips me out. Poor white people make up the majority of the poor population in the United States. They should be on board with that. Like, if you guys decide to say, hey, we're not sending our kids, and you know what's so crazy? Like, if they just cared just enough about themselves, they could get so much more.
Yeah, but at the same time, school offers way more to them than thinking about the end result for their kids.
No, I get it, but I'm saying, like, if you drop a seed and maybe it's like, maybe we can do more.
Yeah, I think that it definitely requires a majority. I think that if you wanted the white people to fall in line, it can't come from us because then it gets spun around to saying it's really about us and not about them. Like, they don't see that that's the ultimate gag. The ultimate gag on white America is that they think that poor people are people of color. Mm-hmm. Anything that benefits poor people, even if they know that they're not necessarily fortunate, they are often spun to the point where they feel like anything that is helpful to those people who need more assistance in life, they feel like it's not about them. It's about people of color.
I know.
It's the political spin that they had fallen for forever. Because I feel like it was, what was it, in North Carolina or South Carolina, there was a community. I feel like it was Wilmington. I can't remember. So it was this community in the Carolinas where the people who are poor all came together. And there was like an integrated, what do I want to call them, officials running the city and all this other stuff. And those who were wealthy, which were white people, they had figured out that we really have to make it clear that there is a racial line, because then you get to pull the poor white people out of that group. And then it becomes more of a white-black battle, and then they'll fight for our interests. And they did that. They started turning the poor white people against the people of color. And then I think that there was a high official who was black. They ran that person out of office, and they took it over. And I feel like the whole incident, I'm gonna have to look this up.
Yeah, well, let's not blame Wilmington if
no. Yeah, it's
That's-
not. I don't think it's. Let me look it up. But I remember that they were talking about it's an incident that even their libraries don't like to keep content on. So that's crazy to me that you can vote, or you can act, or you can protest against your own best interests because someone told you that it's not about the money, it's about the race that's stopping it or holding someone back. And I hate that. I feel like it's the ultimate gag. It's let me trick you into feeling like this is your enemy when truly I am.
And then what's crazy is like, that's why I say it's like different levels of loyalty. Like people, like white people are loyal this way and they stick together or whatnot. And I'm like, I don't understand how that's loyalty. To me, that's complete ignorance. Like you are comfortable with your station in life so that somebody that looks like you can continue to keep you in a position of not succeeding. Like, is that like?
But it's I think that it's the idea of a hierarchy. If you can say that you're not on the bottom.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, like, do you want to live? You live on the bottom, but I don't know. But
it's kind of like when that he was like, look at me, I got these degrees.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look at me, but I'm still white, so I'm better than somebody. Like, I'm poor, I'm homeless, and I'm living on the street, but I've got these degrees to keep me warm.
Yeah.
So then that makes you better than somebody else. Okay, so I'm not at the bottom. So we've gotten to the point where as long as you ain't at the bottom, as long as you have somebody to look down upon.
So we probably need somebody who is aware that the population of white people can do better if they do certain things. So we need somebody to look like them that believes this, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's possible?
I do. I think that there are people. I remember we had a sinister plan for me to write this book to teach people about the ultimate game.
Oh yeah.
And then I was supposed to do it under a pen name that did not sound like mine to see if it would catch on. And I still think that truly the message can't be, when you have been poisoned so much around the idea of race and not being at the bottom of the totem pole and having some level of being better than somebody else, you need the people that look like you to say, hey, y'all, we've been tricked. Because that's some deeply ingrained and embedded ideas that you're running with. It's not going to be able to come from my face to be able to say, hey, y'all, guess what? Y'all got tricked.
Yeah.
Because then what is that? That's just me trying to mind trick them. It's a horrible cycle. So it has to be someone that looks like them.
Well, I that's why it's another reason why I feel like people don't think, because like there's nothing in history that I've seen in American history that we are capable of taking over anything. They didn't even write that. You know what I'm saying? But they prevented it, like we are capable of taking over everything.
Who? Us?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If y'all let them do this, they gonna take over everything.
Like we're in the history. Y'all don't even let us, like
we're not
even qualified to do any of that. Why would you even like?
Well, we are qualified.
No, I'm saying in their eyes, the way they've written, we're like secondhand citizens.
Yeah. So if you really believed that we were, then you wouldn't be scared. But y'all scared in the mug though.
I don't know. I don't know if I think the people that there's a strong pen on their side that can control so many different things.
Yeah, they wrote up a lot of it's a lot of, what is it, fear mongering?
Yeah, Kim, tell me this. Like, think about this. If you think you can improve something, why wouldn't you change things?
Because you have been taught that I want it, but I don't want it if it comes from this place. Like, then I don't want it. It don't matter how good it is, then I want it. Or I will take it, but I need to rename who made it.
Yeah.
Or who did it. We need to be able to spin it.
So when, okay, this could be a pivotal moment in the show. When will America, the powers that be, accept the responsibility that we were not considered real people and like we haven't gotten whatever they said they were going to give us? They took everything that they had said that they were going. When are they going to accept that responsibility?
They won't.
No, I'm saying I don't understand why is it that.
Because if you accept responsibility, then there's an expectation of having to make good on it.
But they did that with everybody else. They made good with the Japanese. They made good with Irish people. They made good with the Germans. They made good with the Jews. So
and they ain't even do nothing to the Jews.
What
they do to the Germans.
Well, they showed mad love through financial abundance
Yeah, I understand the Japanese, but
Oh yeah. But I'm saying like
but hey, they gonna fight tooth and nail with us.
I
Hey,
don't understand.
they gonna
that.
fight tooth and nail with the Mexicans too. Where them kids at? We heard about some kids in cages, and hey, we ain't heard about them since. Where are those kids? You got kids that got lost in this fake foster care system that they had coming over the border. Then you had kids in cages, and we ain't heard nothing since.
Well,
So what they're not gonna do is they're not going to do anything for us, and they're not going to do anything for the Mexican population. I'm gonna tell you that off top.
I think that the morals and values have gotten skewed through religious backgrounds and beliefs. There are certain things that is just the right thing to do, but man has found ways to manipulate the right thing to do because it's in the best interest of themselves.
Well, I don't even know if anybody tried to okay what they've done according to religion. Well, for us, they have. I remember having a conversation with someone I work with, and he grew up in Tennessee, and he said, I remember going to church, and they told a story about Abraham's sons, and there was a curse on one of them that they will always be subservient. Is that the right word? A slave or lower than everyone else. And that in that church, the pastor had convinced everybody, or they all believed, that black people were descendants of this son. And so it made sense that we were treated the way we were. And like, he was like, I literally grew up in a place where people convinced us through the Bible that it makes sense why black people are treated the way they are. And it makes sense why white people are in charge. And for someone to come out of that, I was like, how did you become
aware?
Who you are? Yeah. Because when I started working with him, I remember standing there talking to him at his desk, and he had this Black Lives Matter pen up. It wasn't anywhere where it was like, I need you to see it. It was in a place where you could see it, but it was like amongst a lot of other things. And I was just like, how did that even? He said, well, I moved to go to college, and you work, you're in class and stuff. And he said, and I was around black people, and they were nothing like what we were told in this small place, and there weren't black people around where I lived. So what you told us is what we would probably believe, because we never had any experiences with them. And he said, I got to a point where I had to say to myself, this isn't like my experiences, my firsthand experiences are not lining up with what I learned.
Yeah.
And he was able to back up off of that.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I wonder how many white people are put in a situation where they recognize that, but their peer group doesn't allow them to be able to say, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And that's look, I want you to know this. From me, I understand how difficult that can be, because there are people breaking the law with peer groups. I could see, like, if you thought this way, and then, you're going to do what your friends do. But at some point, right is right and wrong is wrong. And to me, if they can use language in the Bible to put you against a group of people, you got to know something's wrong with this book. And I don't understand how so many black people have continued, because that's how they used it.
Yeah, but I think that the other thing is the Bible is open to so many different interpretations.
I'm just only referring to African Americans, because of this white man that grew up in America. Yeah, he used the Bible just like.
Well, he's not saying that he doesn't believe the Bible.
No,
he
I'm
just
saying
doesn't
the way that
believe
it's
how
taught.
They were, how they used it.
No, that's what correct. That's what I'm saying. How it was.
Mm-hmm.
People used it the wrong way. So I understand how you could feel that was the right thing to do.
But growing up in the church, I know that in my church, we focused on how to find joy and how to be a good person, and things of that nature, empowerment, things of that nature. So, you take the Bible for what you can. You get the lessons that you can. You find strength in it. You find comfort. You find all the things that you can't find in this chaotic world. You find it in this book. And if you go in with the intention of finding instruction for love and for comfort and for understanding, that's what you're going to get. If you go in there with the intention of finding a basis for hate or manipulation or any other negative reason, you're going to find it.
Watch this. So check this out. What if, black people went to these white churches in the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. You got a black person that is following this message that you said. Mm-hmm. So he grows up, he becomes a preacher and teach the black. He's teaching the same message.
But I mean, they said that in what was that? I think it was depicted in Birth of a Nation with Nat Turner, and how he was a pastor of some sort, I believe, and there were only certain scriptures they wanted him to teach. And the Bible has been translated 1,000,000 trillion times over, and messages have been lost through translation, not on purpose. There are other parts that have been placed in there and taken out based on rulers and all that other stuff. And so all of this focusing on messaging about being submissive and being a servant and being, slave and master and all of that other stuff, they were taught that.
That's what I'm saying. So,
and, they spread that message, and it wasn't on purpose.
I know, but I'm saying, like, what if I grew up in somebody who was teaching that message, and I'm like, man, white people are better than us. Y'all, it's in the Bible. Like, why? Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you said that there's a message that white people get. Shoot, there's black people that could receive the message and accept the fact that, hey, I get it. And guess what? That's an easier life than what we live in, because we fighting on things that they feel like they don't even supposed to have.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess that makes them that makes them the real sleepers. And it's better for the other population if we are like that. But we're not. When we teach, when I have learned from the Bible, when I followed pastors, the pastors are always teaching about being empowered, being positive, looking to be the light you want to see around you. And so you take what you want. Like, I cannot recall a Sunday where my pastor has focused on the idea of slave and master or master and servant. Only servant to God and God wanting you to be a better person. But, we take, and I think everybody does this, you take what you need from that Bible.
But this is the thing. I get what you're saying, but as a kid, you can't filter out that. So you're only going to process what you process, and you're hoping that the stuff that you got is right.
You're right. Yeah. But I think that's with a lot of things. We're going out in the world, we get exposed, and we're hoping that we're able to grab the right things out of the message and use it. It's not always going to be true. But even those who might be taught to feel the same way that this small country church was teaching, you would hope that they would come in contact with others that would say, no, you don't have to feel that way about yourself. Let me tell you something.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. As we all find different levels of awareness and awake to become better people, we hope that we can just lead by example. I'm telling you, this journey that I've been on with my family, I've learned so much just about myself that I don't think I could have found in a book or through, I don't know. I don't even know how I got here. I'm just appreciative for real, because
on my way.
I just don't think I can make purposeful bad decisions anymore. And I feel like just listening to you, I feel like different people are going to realize that they've gotten a lot of fruits and didn't even work for it. So when they realize that they were blessed, maybe they can lead with a different intent going forward.
Maybe.
But anybody you want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
Yes, I want to give a shout out. I don't know if I've done this before, but I want to give a shout out to, I did, Southern Elegance. So we had, this past week, we had the gift exchange at my job. And I told y'all that I only put Black-owned businesses on my wish list so that they had to support somehow, right? So my Southern Elegance candle came, and they got me cinnamon and spiced wood. And not only did the company send my mason jar shaped container of this candle, but they sent me a little baby candle, and I appreciate it. The only thing is, I wish they would have sent me a different scent so that I could smell that scent and then go back and want to buy it. But they didn't. But it smells. It's giving me holiday vibes.
That's
and the
awesome.
weather this week has been giving me not holiday vibes and then holiday vibes, because it was like 60 and now it's
it's freezing
not.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely cold.
But yeah, Southern Elegance out of the Carolinas.
For sure, we need to get them on the website, right?
Yes.
No doubt. So you guys can check out our website. It's, if you go to it, it's www.lewissquad.com. That's one S, and just go to Buy Black. And we have a list of wonderful businesses that are up and running and there to serve you. Shout out for me. I want to give a shout out to Deion Primetime Sanders,
Ooh.
head coach of Jackson State University, located in Jackson, Mississippi. He recently got the #1 recruit in all of high school football, I believe. And I believe, like, I've been talking about this. I've told my friends this for years. I said the paradigm shift at some point is going to change. We were going to white institutions for resources and exposure, and now you have possibly that at HBCUs. So him getting those resources right at Jackson State, like, it's so crazy. White schools say, you can't go there because we have resources and exposure. Like, everybody want to see them. Like, they going to go to him. And at the end of the day, he's about to be coached by the best cornerback ever. Like, there's nothing that a white institution can do. Like, he's going to constantly be around professional athletes because of who his coach is. And we worried about him going to a PWI. You know why? Because y'all see the shift changing from your money. NCAA been stealing money from athletes, not just black ones, athletes this whole time. They don't have any product other than you going to school, say, we're going to give you a free education, and they make billions of dollars of you every year. Now the game has changed. And I want to say shout out to Deion, because I knew it was going to happen. Shout out to Eddie George, because I know he's at Tennessee State, and I know things are going to change there. And big ups to HBCUs. It really means a lot to, give shine to you guys whenever I can, because, I was one of those lost souls when I was younger, and you guys deserve it. That's it on my behalf. You good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you cannot control. Boom.